Hello, I'm Michael Elliott, and our next guest is Jim Hunter, Chief Scientist and Technology Evangelist of Greenwave Systems.
I have been in the IoT space for over 20 years, founded a couple of companies, sold them to Motorola, and really active in the space. This is my passion. I love this stuff. So I have the good fortune of working with Greenwave. It's a fantastic company. We're all around the world, but we have our corporate headquarters in Irvine, California. And we specialize in providing services and software to enable IoT for our customers.
So from a consumer perspective, what is the most important aspect of IoT?
From the consumer perspective, it's usability.
Usability.
And usability is, there's a lot of components to usability. And the first thing is, for something to be usable, it's got to be useful. So it's got to solve a problem. So when all these products actually have to come together to do something that the consumer actually wants rather than something that they think that the customer wants. It also has to be something that interacts with the consumer on the level that they want it to interact. It's got to be something that if they want to be in a certain application or they want to be just touching a wall to make something happen, it should be as simple and friction-free for them as possible.
So it has to create some type of value for them, some inherent
Absolutely.
value for them. Excellent. So looking at it from a manufacturing perspective, what should manufacturers really consider to help meet this value for the consumers?
Michael, that's a great question. I think that the people that actually get into the IoT space should understand that they're taking on a huge obligation. They're going to be carrying the mantle of IoT to the consumer, which means they're an end-to-end service provider for their product. So as they take this product to market and they put their cloud services in place and they put their embedded services in place, they have to be the same level or the same quality that everybody else that does this is doing. If they don't do that, then they're going to bring down the consumer's impression of what IoT is and damage the entire industry.
So with that in mind, how do we kind of future-proof that?
Well, the way that we actually help these companies, and this is what Greenwave does, is we enable companies that want to bring an IoT product to market. We actually are a company that's actually rich and diverse with experience, all the way from hardware design, from design ID, all the way to component sourcing, everything necessary to manufacture a product. So we go in with a company like Verizon, for example, and we help them imagine a product. We help them build it, we help them source it, we help them put together a solution that actually solves problems, make it usable. Then we can actually help them their relationship with a manufacturer, and we put our software to give it a voice, and we make sure that voice is consistent and standards-based and can do what's necessary to grow IoT as needed into the future. So to future-proof it, one of the things we've recognized, and this is really easy for us to actually see because mankind's been around for thousands of years, and in that time we haven't settled on a single language. There's a standards effort going on, and standards is plural.
Yep.
The great thing about them is there's so many to choose from.
There's so many to choose, exactly.
Yeah, I like using that. I overuse that all the time, but it's actually very true. There's so many standards to choose from, and we're not going to arrive on a single one. At a minimum, we know that there's going to be an Apple ecosystem of devices. We know there's going to be an Android or Google-based ecosystem of devices, and there's some others that will come along. We have to work together to make sure that we can bridge all these together. So to future-proof, you need to build a solution that's abstracted, it's separated from those standards and rises above them to reach across all of them. The consumer does not care what the technology underneath it is. They just want it to work and be usable.
Yep,
yeah,
absolutely.
exactly right.
So you mentioned Verizon. Is that your target market then, or talk to a little bit of the audience about who you reach, who you work with?
Absolutely. So our customers, as I mentioned, are folks that want to bring an IoT product to market. I think the first thing that we should do in this discussion is define what IoT is. Right? Everybody has different definitions of it. Today, the word IoT is used to actually describe Internet of Things. When you have interoperable things, however, you can actually leverage some of the driving forces of the connected world, which is hugely important because we bring value to our customers by leveraging interoperability.
You have to be focused on what consumers really care about, which is connecting on social media, which is watching television and other forms of content. So what we've developed is a comprehensive platform that allows a consumer to quickly transition between those variety of applications.
We had a goal to build a services enabling platform, not for one specific market, but the ability to have a platform that can go after all these markets with one platform.
The Axon software platform consists of multiple components, and we put a lot of work into building that platform out in a way that it can be distributed. And so we have an ability to run a very thin client on an embedded piece of hardware that can connect up through our cloud. And so the ability for our platform to easily interface into mobile apps and on web-based PC type interfaces allows us to quickly deploy new services with the same platform.
Our technology and our abilities to actually deliver IoT devices, services, and then the software that links it together really puts us in a unique position. So we recognize IoT as how I'm entertained, how my network works, how my lighting works, how my climate is controlled. All of these things is really the broad IoT story.
IoT is such a fast-moving space. A lot of companies don't have all the right answers of how to take their current business and translate that into IoT.
We digest that information and come with a 360 business model that addresses their current organizational structure, but also consider their short, mid, and long-term business goals.
We enable companies. We use our expertise to help you build that hardware, but then we make it talk. We put our connectivity into everything that we help people make to bring it all together into a seamless experience. So I believe we'll win because we're in a very flexible and powerful position with our partners. I think that for us, IoT, Internet of Things, is interesting, but interoperable things is even more interesting.
Okay.
We think that there is a killer app for IoT, and it's been around for a long time. It's called Media and Entertainment. So we look at media and entertainment as the killer app, and over-the-top boxes, set-top boxes, things like that that are on the IP network are providing really great services that consumers are continuing to use, and they're providing all kinds of revenue opportunities. As we move forward, we see that to make sure that we have a quality there and keep things going, the networking itself, the networking aspects are important. And that's why Verizon is delivering a fantastic product. We help them with their Quantum Gateway, which is now shipping into the market. It's their 4th generation broadband router. And with that product, there's software in there to actually raise the quality of service for consumers with regards to their network. It makes sure that they get faster speeds on their Wi-Fi. It makes sure that they get faster communications, better, stronger, reliable, more range, 325 feet on the Verizon website for the Wi-Fi. So by doing that, you're propping up the stack and saying at the most fundamental level, the internet is going to be there, the network is going to be there, and now you can build on top of that reliably. So our customers like telcos and service providers.
Okay.
Our customers are also E.ON Energy in Germany. We are their platform for energy management. So with them, they wanted to connect to their consumers and deliver a product that gave value back to them as stakeholders to be able to maintain their energy usage across the grid. We also work with a company called TCP. So they're in Home Depot. You can go to any Home Depot in the US and you can pick up TCP lighting solutions, which have our software running in a little gateway that is connected to bulbs. So you get LED bulbs and you can remotely control those things. So people that make things, people that provide services to companies and customers, and people that actually are trying to get value out of it, like a stakeholder, like a utility, people that have some sort of value in the home that they want to get back.
All right, last question, Jim. 2015, want to hear your predictions.
I've got three. I've got three key predictions. I think that most importantly, the way that we see data and the way that we interact with data is going to change. And by that, I think that last March, there was a referendum that went into the European Parliament moving forward that actually changes the relationship and the responsibility of people handling data from consumers. And we're also now starting to see this in the US. So the relationship and the responsibility of data, and we're not just talking about data that comes from monetary usage, from using your credit cards. We already know there's a problem there. But the data you're actually using every day that actually starts to inform how you live your life and who you are as a person. There's a responsibility of the people that are collecting that, and that goes all the way back to who's making IoT devices. What are you doing and how are you being responsible with that data is very important.
Right.
That's the first prediction. I think the second thing that I think is actually key in 2015 is the recognition that we're moving, I like to say, moving from a personal computer era into a person computer era, right? You get that? I'll drop 2 letters.
yeah.
I'm saving Twitter space there to make it, you can add a little bit more there.
I'm waiting to hear about the person computer.
Well, the person computing is, we're moving into context of you. So the more that you can answer the questions of who, what, where, and when, the contextual questions, the less you have to ask a consumer. So the Apple Watch is a great example of a product that will actually change the equation between consumers and their technology, because it's got biorecognition and it will automatically know it's you. It'll also be able to do things like provide information to your iPhone about what room you're in, about what you want to do, about how you're moving your hand, for example. Technology like that changes the equation because it lowers the friction between consumers and their technology. So I think that's key as we move forward with consumer adoption. You know, Apple back in '07 when they came out with the iPhone changed the relationship between consumers and technology and have enabled us to really move into this space. IoT wouldn't be here without the application and the App Store and those type of things.
Right.
And I think my third prediction is about, it also involves Apple and Apple S products, is there's going to be a real growth this year. We saw fantastic growth last year. If you look at the acquisitions and the merging and all the startups that came into this space and all the venture funding that went into this space, that's going to pale by comparison, because this year we have some certified on-ramps. We have HomeKit from Apple. We have the Works with Nest program and the Thread program coming from the Google area. We have AllJoin. We have a lot of these standards that are out there. They're going to bring their own ecosystems in. And our software is a great example, something that bridges all that together with our Axon software platform.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Jim, for joining us today.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you.